That's better!
Is there sound now? Fantastic, we're actually live with sound. Brilliant.
Good.
Well, it'll take them a few... My bad! Don't kill me!
It's all on you, Sam. Okie dokie, right, let's actually start now. We have some sound. Hey, it's SickBoy from the Gaming Anarchist Collective, and welcome to the second Gaming Anarchist Collective podcast. And we're going to go through some topics of the day. We're going to go around the table and introduce everybody, and then we're all going to bring up a topic or two and have a little discussion and see what's coming up in the comments as well. People just want to talk about. So, right, so let's start off. Sam, how you doing?
I am fantastic, apart from the fact that I have made an error in the second podcast, and now I'm never going to hear the end of it. I'm Mr. Sam Explains on YouTube, and I have actually started posting videos again. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I did Animal Crossing and God of War, so you can go check them out. I did that with my friend Johnny, who's called Funkman, and I forget.
I still need to get 3DS for that game, Animal Crossing.
Hey, okay. I had to play Animal Crossing. If you know what my channel's like, you would have had to say I would have had to play Animal Crossing.
It is about right for you.
Dick jokes!
So also joining us today, we've also got Taro. How you doing there, Mike?
I am doing good. Been playing Blaze Blue for days. I can't get my hands off of it.
It is pretty awesome. And also we've got Diamond Mantis joining us.
Hey. Well, I've been having a bunch of issues lately. I've been mostly having the problem where I stay awake all the way to 5 a.m. at times, even 6 a.m., which I just think to myself, oh, fuck, I need to go to sleep. But I've been trying to fix that issue.
I get up at that time to go to work.
Sucks to be you, buddy. Sucks to be you.
Shut up.
Well, the major issue might actually be, I'll explain that when we're going to talk about what games we've been playing.
Oh.
Then you'll understand.
Cliffhangers.
Okie dokie, well, I might as well start with myself. So, we're going to go around the table, just go what we've been playing the last week. Personally, I've been putting quite a bit of time into Tales of Xillia, and also I went back into... I've been going back into my Steam library as well, playing a little bit of Postal 2 for the sake of this horrificness that it is. And just been enjoying myself, actually. Been playing Tales of Xillia. It's nice to get back into a JRPG. I've been enjoying it. Haven't played a Tales game in what feels like forever.
Oh, wait, you got Tales of Xillia?
Yeah.
I hate you so much! I want that game so bad.
I don't get that.
I don't have a PS3, and I played Tales of Vesperia, the only one on the 360, and it was fantastic.
Oh, it is class. The one thing that's kind of weird, I was playing it through, and they've got this kind of like the upgrade tree, and it felt so much like FF10. It was quite nice. It's a big web system, so it's really loads
Hey,
like that. That was good fun.
The Tales of...
Oh, Taco, we're going to talk about that later on 180.
And then I guess it's what I'm playing now, right?
Yeah.
I have been playing emulators for days.
Me too. I've been playing some of them too.
I've been playing God of War, I've been playing The Warriors, I've been playing this 1994 version of Alien vs. Predator for the Capcom arcade machine.
Oh, I remember that.
That game is fantastic.
And I have just had the best time because I body slammed an alien into the queen and killed its entire nest and was just like, fuck yeah!
Oh, I remember when I played with my brother actually, and I played. Both of us liked the Predators far more than the human characters.
Oh no!
Although they look pretty cool.
Taro.
It's
Come
Shepard.
on.
I'm gonna call you Baker Cat.
Okay. I've been playing Blaze Blue, of course, as I said. I kind of want to get back to Injustice, but I'm not really feeling for it right now. The new DLC character just came out today. I think it was Donna, and she actually seemed pretty good. The reason why I kind of stopped playing Injustice for some reason because I felt like playing Blaze Blue just to hype the new game coming out and Guilty Gear Sword. Because I'm much of a fan of fighting games, and if I had to choose a developer of fighting games, it would be Arc System Works. They make very good fighting games, and I just like the 3D graphics. I already finished Deadpool, and given my thoughts on it, Deadpool isn't like, don't expect Deadpool to be like Metal Gear Rising, but if you're a Deadpool fan, the humor will satisfy you. The gameplay is very generic, but if you're a Deadpool fan, I suggest you get it for the humor alone. Just
Spoilers, it's short.
Yeah, it's short, not very. But yeah, if you're a Deadpool fan, I'd be fine if you get it. But if you're very much of a hack and slash fan, don't expect it to be as awesome as Metal Gear Rising was, because it's not really good. It's not really that good, but it's okay.
And Diamond Mantis, what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing Crusader Kings 2 a little. It's sort of instead of having the Civilization feeling, it's more of you spend almost much more time than you do in Civilization, but you feel like your time isn't wasted. Because you can speed up how the game plays and all that.
Oh god, yes.
The funniest thing about it was, in my playthrough, I conquered Ireland, was the king of Ireland, and then I took over all of Iceland, which I live, by the way, and so then I was finding someone to attack while I was trying to fabricate claims on Scotland, all of it, and then the funniest thing about it is there happened to be an ability to invade the Holy Roman Empire, which, if you take a look at it, it's pretty fucking huge. And so what ended up happening was I hired a gigantic army of mercenaries and invaded the Holy Roman Empire. And guess what the win condition was?
What?
If I win the battle, I take over the entire Holy Roman Empire. My primary goal is to take over France and all of Britannia.
Just scream at them real loud, they'll surrender.
Yeah.
Turn up on a Sunday, everyone's relaxing.
Yeah. And all.
Yeah.
I'm invading your country, but I'm tired. Okay, and then I have some stock questions here that I have to ask you guys, because everybody loves stock questions.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's...
What's your favorite color?
Blue! Red! No! Yellow! Okay, so we've got... What is your favorite game of the current generation? I'll ask Chris first.
Current generation?
I'll ask Chris first.
Couldn't tell you. That is a really bizarre one. The one I've actually spent most time actually playing is Fire Emblem Awakening. Of all the games of this generation, I have just spent so much time absolutely hammering that game. It's so much fun.
I think mine, and people are gonna hate me so much for this, it's Catherine. Because Catherine was, like, in my opinion, amazing, because I went into it knowing nothing about it other than it was just a weird game. And then suddenly I'm pushing blocks in my underwear, and there's a butt monster chasing me, and I'm cheating on my wife.
Nihongo file!
And it was just the best. And I found myself playing it, it's like, I just want to see what happens next. I just want to see what happens next. No more butt babies, please. Just play. That game was meant to play on the insecurities of men, and it did it very well.
Can I count PC ports, if I may?
Oh yeah, sure.
As long as they're on another console, I can also put them on this list from my PC. I don't know what the best game of all of them would be, but I think the primary one would be, well, the primary two of them would be Mark of the Ninja and Alan Wake. I would probably have said Deus Ex Human Revolution, but I haven't played it. I'm trying to finish Deus Ex.
Take your time.
Yeah. But what about you?
It's Taro's, Baker Cat's turn. What's your...
Metal Gear Rising.
Really? Quite a recent one.
Revengeance.
Yes. It's the best hack and slash I've played so far.
I'd say it's superior to Metal Gear Solid. I'll give it that.
I wouldn't say superior. It's different. Although it still carries elements on the original Metal Gear Solid franchise, you don't necessarily have to do stuff. That's the thing. It's optional. You can just kill people whatever the crap you want. So, but what I like about Metal Gear Rising is its mechanics, and Raiden himself is pretty awesome. I really like it.
I do understand a lot of the hate that is thrown towards the game, but at the same time, there's also unjustified hate towards the game too.
Yeah,
most of the
that's the thing.
Most of the justified one is probably the camera.
It takes after Metal Gear Solid 4 and not after.
I didn't like the fact that Raiden can just throw a Metal Gear ray over his head.
Well, he is a cyborg.
Yeah, but it's it never explained that, and the fact that he hops on a motorbike when he can run faster than a train.
Because it looks cool, damn it.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't like bikes.
Official soundtrack. The music of the game is awesome. I really love nearly all of the music of the game. Rules of Nature, Final Boss theme, of course.
Oh, the J-Rock piece, I love that.
Yeah.
Just conveniently plays every time you lift the arm up, just oh!
That isn't fun fighting game.
Unless you drop the ball! Oh!
It's nanomachine, son! Oh!
I think you're having a breakdown over there, Sam.
Yeah, it's too hot in this room. But what better way to say that capitalism and right-wing policies were bad by just having Mickey Mouse hop out of that mech?
That would have been.
Yeah, and I had a little Sonic reference over there. Gotta go fast.
I like the fact that they referenced the Vanilla Ice Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles song in the game in the sewer level. That cracked me up. The little boy started going, "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!" It's like, oh my god, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
I'm gonna be right back, guys. I've got people. Yeah. You just keep yourselves entertained.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can manage.
If we can talk. I'd say it's okay to talk more about Metal Gear Rising. I mean,
yeah.
Anything entertaining would be just fine by me.
It's an awesome hack to slash alone. I would really recommend it.
But
if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan or not, I recommend it.
Although the thing that I have seen for both Metal Gear Solid 4 and Rising is that Metal Gear Solid tries to be a stealth game, but semi fails at it. You know. Instead of just failing miserably, it's sort of, instead of becoming an action game, it becomes, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's mostly what Hideo Kojima tries to do with most of his games at the time. The game jumps between melodramatic to cartoonish at times. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing,
I think
that's up to you.
I think
it's not a straight game. You're not meant to. I think you're definitely not to be taking it too seriously. The whole thing is they want to make this. They have this sort of this really ham-fisted America's evil plot. They just pull out of their arse at the end. But the game is so much fun.
Speaking of ham-fisted, would you like to see my progress on my DeLorean so far?
Oh yes, please.
I don't think the plot was meant to be taken seriously.
I got a Lego DeLorean because they're limited edition, and I wanted to be a collector and be super careful with the box, and then that happened. My ADD kicked in, and I found out there's pieces of Lego missing, so I have to go on Lego.com and be like, "Can you send me the missing pieces, please?"
So what I hope they don't do for the next, if they're going to make the next Metal Gear Rising game, I think Event said best is that if they don't put in too much DLC, I mean, I didn't really mind the DLC at first, but I was trying to be careful with my money, and playing as Sam and Waywolf was really fun, but the price was like, God, I'm losing money. So I kind of do hope they don't give us too much DLC, or not as much DLC, if they're going to make.
If you want to talk about DLC, then you should look at Crusader Kings 2. They have just so much DLC, it's unbelievable. Let me just take a look at it for
Nano Machine, son.
Son.
I'm a quarterback that makes me 400 pounds heavier than a normal man.
Just say stuff. Just kick my football.
Okay, so the Crusader Kings 2 collection is $80.
80.
That's for the game and all of the DLC.
And Metal Gear Rising Complete Edition was like 70.
I wouldn't even say that this is worth it, but when it goes up for sale at 75%, it's definitely worth it. $90 or $20 for the game and DLC. It's definitely a good time sink and a fun game at times. Especially since you can mod it and buy DLC.
Is the DLC actually functional, or is it just that kind of like pay to decorate stuff?
Well, I don't really know all that much about it. I do know that people buy the DLC and make videos about it on the internet and tend to love the game either way, but I'm not the right person to recommend that since I haven't tried any of it. I just bought the game at the sale and I kind of think maybe I should have just bought it for $20.
Shut up, I want a Corgi DLC for the next Metal Gear Solid, and I demand it. I want Corgi DLC for every game. I will not get touched.
Have you seen a lot with Rise of the Triad that there's a dog mode where you get to turn into a dog?
Oh yeah.
And have a sonic bark of death. Now that, I love the fact that they've just got, that game just looks mental.
I
love the old.
I hate to bring up an EA game, but Dead Space 3 had this one piece of DLC that I wish I had bought, but I wouldn't. It was to make your scavenger bot a snarky, sarcastic person. Like, I guess I could pick this up.
That was a DLC that people were kind of okay with you, but charging us for resources for the in-game? Are you
in-game stuff that should have been in the game in the first place?
And the fact that they got rid of the babies, which made the game fun. And now I just see GIFs of Sam says killing babies is fun.
I like the exploding babies in Dead Space 2.
I just really like. I don't like the fact that you got rid of babies. It's a bad game.
Babies in the washer.
I think the best DLC for Metal Gear Rising would be the ability to turn, Raiden, instead of being a crazy psychotic killer, instead you'll give him the Hobo Skeletor voice.
Oh.
You'll get to use his magical powers to cut
Skeletor?
Time and space.
Did I hear Skeletor? I just imagine Raiden being like, I'll get you, capitalism.
Oh, they probably get the idea soon enough. Oh.
Hey Kojima, stop making discs that smell like blood.
Yeah, what was about? Was it overheated?
Yeah.
It smelled like blood.
Guy's entire career is formed on him just being an asshole to people.
I just the first time, just everyone played Metal Gear Solid remembers this. The first time I just thought, you dick, was the moment where they were like, get Meryl's code. It's on the back of the CD code.
And then if you're playing it on an emulator, it's just like tough.
Yeah. Do you know what? I genuinely. I was looking around for a while, and then I literally just scanned through every single wavelength till I found her. And then later on, I picked up the box and went, son of a bitch!
Oh, wow.
Why can I just imagine, like, the scene from, like, Demolition Man, you just sitting there, like, going through, and then just a woman being like, hey, hey, I'll call her back. Metal Gear.
Metal Gear!
I got this cigarette.
Demolition Man is one of the most underrated films of the 90s. I loved it.
How much do you weigh? Why?
Everyone who watches that immediately goes away and tries to work out what the 3 seashells did.
You know they actually explain that in like the DVD collector's edition.
Did they?
Yeah. Two shells. There's like the shells are used for like clamping and
clamping.
And they're used for cleaning it up. And I was like, isn't this the future? Don't we have stuff to do this?
Don't you have a robot to do that for me?
But hey,
if you watched Demolition Man recently, it says the last murder was in Detroit in 2010, which I appreciate.
But
It would definitely have made Detroit a better place if that had happened.
It's like the
But
last murder
we can-
ever.
we can all agree that no matter how bad the Metal Gear Solid games will eventually get, they'll never become as terrible as the Splinter Cell games. I also managed to... I'll talk about a little thing that is related to Warcraft 3, but not primarily. It's kind of its own thing right now. But that's a topic for a little later in this podcast.
Anyone seen?
Yeah.
Has
Not just for
anyone?
another day.
Has anyone seen the $1 million edition of Saints Row 4?
Oh, my friend thought about that.
Someone just posted it in the chat there. What? Only
Yeah, hasn't
one.
it got like a life-size Shawnee?
You get that. You get to stay in that island hotel in Dubai. You get a Lamborghini Gallardo. You get a Prius.
Oh.
You get an Virgin Orbit trip.
Do you have to get a copy of Saints Row 4 with that?
Yes.
Oh.
No, I do like Saints Row.
Come on, you know you love.
There is very. I like the fact that some people didn't like it. I like the fact that when they got to 3, they just went, "Fuck it, we're here just to be ridiculous, over the top. Let's get purple baseball bat dildos and gimps."
If you've played it with me, I made a character called the Dangalang Man. If you've watched my videos, you've seen him. And he's a naked luchador that just runs around with a dildo bat, and because I've got level 50, he's invincible. So I'm just like running up to tanks with a dildo bat, like bang. That's taking the game to what's supposed to be. You people who are playing it seriously are not having. You're having fun wrong.
There's a channel called Birgir Pál, and he basically finds any broken game that he can find, but just anyone that has problems, and essentially just look up his prototype video. There's a part
with the
where
chairs.
the chair,
Chair hugs.
where he essentially takes a chair, runs with it, and anyone he touches just either gets obliterated or just pushed off of a fucking building.
Yeah, instantly. Anybody who's struggled with the spelling, if you go on the Gaming Anarchist YouTube page, you see them you see them in the subscriptions. They are very funny.
Right.
He used to do Battlefield montages long ago. He then went on to do his own version of what Kraken does, but instead it's much more focused on the funnier parts of it. Much more, shorter or
you,
more,
or you
just
can
quicker to the point.
Or you can just do what I do in my videos and just take out all the dick jokes and put them in. Or
Just edit out every time.
just like, is this? No, this is intelligent. Out.
Actually, no, there's two things you keep in: dick jokes and when you gank everyone else you're playing with.
Hey, I get bored easily. Okay.
You could make a dubstep
Must
album out of that.
Dick, 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 dick jokes.
Now I got dubstep for a sec.
I already did a video that was basically just making fun of like Let's Players. I've done it twice now, and the one where there's one where I fall off my chair, and I haven't told people, but I nearly broke my neck when I did that.
That is suffering for your art there, Sam.
Because it was on my bed and I fell, and my neck took like all the force.
You managed to pile drive yourself.
And then I was just like, if that had been the way I had been paralyzed.
That would have made for a great follow-up video. Just you in a neck brace in a wheelchair. Remember, kids, don't do this at home.
I can't make videos anymore. I broke my neck trying to entertain you all. Do people like me? Can I stop doing this?
Holy shit! I just realized that the chairs have a high percentage chance of actually breaking your neck. We should probably ban all of these chairs.
We totally should, yeah. We should, yeah. For the kids.
We should also ban violent video games because, hey, that makes sense.
Somebody please think of the children!
These games, they turn little Johnny into a mass murderer!
Is that Dr. Rockstar? The Rocky Rockstar? Make the children do cocaine!
wouldn't want my children doing that.
Video games are not making our children believe in God.
Oh no.
Oh, we're not getting into that. No.
You might want to censor
Okay.
that.
Alright. Let's talk about
I'm
the
go-
topic I
I'm
have.
going to
Oh God, I
beat-
think we may. I think if we'll just take a look at the chat and see if anything happens.
I'm going to beat
They're
you
probably
to
gonna
death
troll
with
out
my
again.
laptop. I'm the one who edits this, by the way. No, I'll put Baker Cat over you and I'll just edit out all the things.
You and your love for Baker Cat.
You don't know. Did you see the troll tweet I made about Baker Cat? It was
No?
Half-Life 3 finally announced, and it was like a tiny URL.
Oh, that is cruel.
And if you
That
click,
is-
and if you clicked on it, it was just Baker Cat just do 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 do.
That is such a dick move. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't believe that they're now leaking that there's Left 4 Dead 3 before there's Half-Life 3. That is an
The
abomination.
kids will love it.
I can't imagine.
The kids will love it. I can't wait. The mods. I can't wait for the mods. I can't wait to throw babies and then make them explode.
You can do that already in Left 4 Dead 2.
But with better graphics.
So that
And new
I got-
maps.
Next gen.
Ban Baker Cat. It's ruining our children.
No! He's just kneading dough, that's all he's doing. He's not hurting anyone.
Except for with cholesterol.
Oh, come on. It's delicious. Mr. Sam is always thinking about children. Fuck you! I'm so glad that we are not popular, because there's just going to be tons of GIFs of me just being like, here.
Chasing after kids.
What baby can I kill today?
my babies.
Baker Chat. Baker Chat.
Just me, me and
Baker
Baker
Cat
Cat.
is the new pedo bear. He's chasing after kids.
Just me and Baker Cat, like, and me with armfuls of children.
I did see, I saw a video of an amnesia video where someone said, the underwater monster,
Yeah.
and it comes out and it's Pedo Bear.
Oh god, I've seen that.
That's class.
Alright.
Okay. You said you had a topic there. Or one of you said I was being
Yeah.
more professional and paying attention.
Yeah, I do. I'm pretty sure all of us have heard of it, but Microsoft recently confirmed that the Kinect will no longer be required to operate. This is what they have to say about the Kinect, though. And I quote, "We still believe in Kinect. We aren't interested in splitting the development base. The more demos I've seen, the more I've used it, the more impressed I am. The team feels strongly about Kinect, and I hope we're able to prove that when you use it. We also have a ton of privacy settings to allow people to turn off the camera or microphones or put it in safe just for Xbox on and out of blasting. There will be a lot of user control for that. The thing we all understood, and hence this change, is that there are some scenarios where people just may not be comfortable. We want people to be 100% comfortable, so we allow the sensor to be unplugged. And clearly, the it drop scenario is possible.
This is officially
I'm
then
sorry,
the
Microsoft,
fourth.
but we don't believe in the Kinect. We just don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, people. They are going to change everything about the Xbox One. The community backlash was just
Baker
too
Cat for
strong.
Xbox One.
And
I mean,
I
they
was-
have to make a bundle without the Kinect someday.
the only
so-
problem is, what about Sony? Will they actually be changing anything? Because they didn't really receive all that much of a community backlash, even though
They
a lot of
didn't.
people.
I mean, there
Oh.
are some people that were against the having to pay for multiplayer online though, but I personally wasn't really one of them because I have paid for Microsoft to play online before, so it wasn't really much of a problem. And I can assure that they at least promise a very good online experience.
Yeah, and
But,
you at least have some free-to-play games to play online.
yeah,
It'll at least help you get into the all online thingy.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think Sony have been pretty clever. I mean, since January, when it leaked that they had the RF tagging patent, that was going to potentially be offline DRM, and I did a video. It was one of the first videos I did about that. I did my first I think it was about half an hour long video of me just shouting at Sony.
That's the video I found you in.
Yeah.
Also, if I recall, how much did the Kinect Wii sell? Because
it actually sold more copies than the GameCube, I think, which is sickening. It actually sold more copies than the GameCube.
So like
I love my GameCube.
Also, are you?
GameCube.
I love your
Are you really
too.
ready? Are all of you ready to be really pissed off at Capcom?
Let's go. Come on. You mentioned Capcom.
Fire the Breath of Fire 6.
Oh god.
It's so depressing.
I'm not that mad about it because they've been doing that as of late.
I think Razorfist put it correctly. Breath of Fire 6 is what you get when Final Fantasy Tactics fucks Harvest Moon. And that's not in a good thing, as in the art style, mostly. And the art style was not the good part about Final Fantasy Tactics. That I can assure you.
At least it's not all the bravest.
Has any of you heard about that game that came out? I forget its name. I think it's Dragon Priest or something like that. And there was a reviewer who said that the art style...
Oh, Dragon's Crown.
That's it. There's a lot of dragons.
I didn't actually mind the review because they only talked about the game, mostly.
And people are just like, no, you're wrong. You're a reviewer. This is your opinion. Your opinion is wrong.
It was at least a valid complaint, and it actually talked more about the game than probably most other reviews, but at the same time, opinions are opinions. If you base your opinion off a single review, then there's something wrong with you. You have to look up a lot of reviews.
That are very watchable, and opinions that are just very illogical.
Yeah, you pick a bunch of reviewers that you mostly trust. You know their opinions, you know their thoughts. You stick to them, and when you see that they're being dishonest and being, page trolls and
watch Total Biscuit. You'll never buy another game again.
You're going to miss out the good potential games.
No, every game is garbage unless it has an interesting concept or is, the Yogscast game.
The funny thing is, people say that Total Biscuit content is getting stale and all that, but that's not really his fault. I mean, when you think about it, that's probably the fault of the game creators. I mean, if there's no interesting games coming out, why would you look up reviews for the uninteresting games?
I think we should get Chris to dress up as him for Halloween, if we do a Halloween podcast.
Well, I'm just going to shave this part of my hair, that's all I need to do.
And wear a StarCraft hat.
I'll just draw a big mole up here.
I'll just make a full plate armor.
Could I be Could I be Dodger? I'll just be like this all the time.
Maybe be Jesse Cox. That'd be hilarious in a fat suit.
Yeah, that's how we'll make the podcast. We'll dress up as any YouTube celebrities. I know. Gaming Anarchist will be. Which should you be? Total Biscuit or John Tron? Oh, you'd get a lot of flack for. Oh, yeah, and it would be really hilarious if Taro would be Jesse Cox.
No.
Jesse Cox.
No. It's immediate denial. No, we're not doing Jesse Cox.
If you're one of those people who says I should be PewDiePie, I will kill you.
What?
I'm not being PewDiePie. I'm not being PewDiePie. If you say...
bring this up. I forgot to mention that the Kinect will still be included on the box, even though it's not required. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people... Yeah, it's an optional accessory, so they should... I mean, ideally, I'd like to see it done separately, and I'd like to see, requires Kinect on the packaging for games.
Yeah.
But...
It's still... I mean, they've done now... I think this is their fourth 180 now. Because they did the always online DRM that they removed. They removed the indie self-publishing ban. Now they're putting the headset back in after everyone complaining.
I mean, why would you
put the headset back in? And they said they weren't, and now they said they are, and now they're saying I think I read somewhere. Didn't see the unboxing, but apparently there's a sticker in the box that you can cover the Kinect camera with.
Speaking of that, we all know that false advertising is illegal. They'd get sued up the ass if they try to falsely advertise their console.
Yeah, they could.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it counts as frauding. So.
Yeah, they'd be on a lot of troubles if they actually did that. So, it's doubtful.
Here's an average consumer that isn't interested in the Kinect though. When they open the Xbox One and see the Kinect, they would just toss it away and be like, I don't want this. And focus on the Xbox One. This is what they would do, and that makes the Kinect practically useless.
I got something. Did any of you see that infomercial type advert that Major Nelson did showing off the Xbox?
You mean the...
It might... if they had got like Billy Mays or the ShamWow guy or...
Unboxing? The unboxing video?
Yeah. You know what I love?
Like,
he's like, the state-of-the-art 500 gigabyte hard drive. And I was like, what, is that solid state? And then I looked it up.
I can tell he's a huge douche though.
He's like, I looked it up to see if it was solid state, because if it's solid state...
Are you kidding?
If it's...
It's not solid state, it's a hard
I'd say if it was solid state, I would eat my own arm. There is no way they're putting a solid state drive in the Xbox One.
It's a hard...
The non-replaceable hard drive in the Xbox One.
Probably more like erect state.
It is a state-of-the-art 500 gigabyte hard drive.
It is a state of the art of a half decent laptop from 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, people say that, although in all fairness, consoles always lag behind PC hardware.
Yeah,
it is always going to be about the games and the ease of the experience.
That's pretty much a fact. But however, I think consoles could. The best possible solution for a console would be to have it allow more people to play on one console. That would probably ship more units, because think about having 8-player co-op games. That would be pretty fantastic. I mean, think about like Guardian Heroes, like Dragon Crown. They could have easily made a 8-player version of that. That would be pretty fantastic. I mean, people would consider that.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am.
Yeah. Instead of people fighting about which one would be the disappointing, they would fight over which one was the greatest. Which is what we want. We want that. We want people to... I mean, mostly the reason why I've stayed away from the console generation was because I simply didn't trust the companies. That's mostly the major reasons. And
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, because guys like Capcom, EA, Activision, they'll play on. They'll somehow make one thing good to a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, DMC probably would have gotten a lot more support if it wasn't for that PR. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the big thing that the people need to realize, I think it's the problem with fanboyism in general, is that criticism of these companies is a good thing, because it keeps because what these companies want is they want to sell us stuff. Yeah. They want to make money selling us stuff. If they know what we want to buy, if they know what we consider good value and what we want to buy, then they'll give us that, because that's what they want to give us.
Yeah, I don't
then
think
you don't get Capcom going, well, maybe we'll do an HD remake of Darkstalkers, and if it sells really well, maybe we'll make another one. Maybe you should stop being a dick and actually ask your community.
Yeah. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is not a bad thing. In fact, to be honest, I bought both Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate simply because I just can't resist it.
Warning, it was disappointing.
But I'll tell you one thing, what was disappointing is that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 still needs a patch. That's like the only time that the game actually needs a patch, and yet they're still working on Street Fighter 4. I don't know why.
I hated the balancing issues in Marvel vs. Capcom.
I know.
It's just like,
I don't know.
You want to know what I hated?
What?
The fact that it was in high contrast. That shit was fucking annoying for me and my brother when we were both playing it. Basically, what ended up happening, I picked Okami, and when I did
that's a good game. I love it.
When I did his ultimate move, what are they called? Ultra moves, ultra combos.
Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah, and basically, it was the equivalent of throwing the fucking sun at someone, and this was in high contrast. You know what high contrast is, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Bright things get brighter, and dark things get even more darker, and that is annoying when you have especially when you're kind of close to the TV screen with when you're a fighting game, you tend to.
The eyes, though.
Actually, no. That's actually what I want to see. I actually don't want to see a remake of Final Fantasy VII. I want to see like a Persona Arena style Final Fantasy VII game where you can literally throw a planet into your opponents. Have your special moves where you could just like call out ridiculous attacks. I just do like bust a sword.
Even
actually, that'd be great. I need to actually contact Square Enix and go make a fighting game.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had my favorite Ultra thing of all time, which one of my favorite moments ever in playing in gaming was to make the Hulk grab a meteor and then thrust it into Galactus's face to kill him. I was like, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
The problem with the Square Enix and all that, you really think that no matter how much weight behind you, even if they look at how much they are losing, do you really think they'll listen to you when, even after you are the colossal of logic and common reasoning and all of that, do you really think a Japanese developer will ever listen to you?
Oh, it would be nice if they did, because I love the fact if they just floated out there, Tomb Raider, do you want multiplayer? And everyone just went, no. They've gone, right, well that's just saved us 20 million right there. We've made a profit on the game.
Yeah.
Woo!
Tomb Raider reboot isn't bad from my standpoint. It's not like DMC, because Tomb Raider reboot didn't get as much of a backlash as DMC did. Because to be honest, Tomb Raider did a reboot. Let's be honest. But problem with Square Enix is that it didn't reach their expectations, but their expectation was crazy high. It was too high. I mean,
the problem was they spent money.
A reboot sell that much.
Yeah, they spent money on what they didn't need to spend it on. Basically, 100 million in advertisement. Are you fucking kidding me? Why? Yeah. It's Tomb Raider. We all know what fucking Tomb Raider is.
I mean, really, if they just said, and people knew there was a Tomb Raider game, no one else. It didn't matter. They'd have made those 4 million sales.
Yeah, they'd probably have, if they wouldn't have spent almost anything.
Maybe it did a lot better than DMC did.
1 million. They'd have made about 300% a profit from it. I mean, here's a little funny thing. A game by the name of, which is being pre-purchased, I think, I heard about it last few days ago, that, Payday 2, they earned about more, they are earning profit from their pre-purchases. They essentially added in the beta thingamajig, and essentially they're just earning profits. Everything that they get from this, from now on, is profit. Even though they were originally going to be allowing people to purchase it at a lower price and at, get the beta early and try all of the things out, they got profit either way. And that was not because they advertised the games a lot. It was because they spent very little money on it. They spent very little money on developing it and publishing it.
If they're watching right now, Baker Cat Mask, please.
Yeah, that's essentially how you earn money in this business. You just make something that you profit more of. Or make
a good game.
If you're into the long run,
it's a good start. Make a good game.
Make a good game. I'm thinking of actually doing that. As I said, I talked to the Anarchist about it. I'm trying to learn programming right now, and basically watching everything about this and that. And I've got a book called Java,
which roughly translates to game programming for dummies.
Yeah, which is essentially what it is, yeah. But there's not really all that shame in that. I mean, it's better to learn the baby steps. You have to learn how to walk before you try to learn how to run. That's true. Yeah, but so yeah, I'd also the fanboys. We kind of wanted to talk about them. That was one thing I like to show you about. You know the Bunny Hop show? He made a video about both the Xbox One, and he made a video called 5 Reasons Not to Get Hyped for this next console generation's PS4.
I am trying not to get too hype about it, because, to be honest, I'm actually deciding on whether to get a Wii U for my birthday or those 2 PS3 games.
Has anyone seen the GIF of from the Never-Ending Story? You know when the horse died of the Wii U, and it's like, no, you have to make games.
I will assure you, the Wii U will sell once these games come out this winter.
Hopefully.
But yeah, the video I was talking about, basically, 3,607 likes. 8,132 dislikes, and that, bear in mind, everything what he says is legitimate. Everything he says is fact, or mostly what he says is fact, and basically all the comments are, let me check, get a life, man, stop hating on Sony, and you can tell these people did not look at the they didn't watch the fucking video. That's the problem with the fanboys. They don't watch the videos. They write before they even listen to every single argument that is presented to them. And that's probably the primary fact why you hate them. They don't follow the same rules for the arguments. They don't want to be, reasonable.
It's true. Every time I want to have a little giggle, I go back to my feminist frequency video, and I find that there's some other dickhead who's turned up and gone, "You're a sexist!" Because and then normally it's like, "I didn't watch your video, but you're mean. You're a sexist pig," and I'm like, "What?
What?
Well, I spent 8 minutes explaining why I have a great deal of sympathy for all civil rights movements and all kinds of inequalities, and then they go, "You're sexist because you don't like her."
Yeah, and he even did a follow-up video, the Xbox One, another reason not to get hyped, and he basically showed all of the comments, and can you guess what they were? You Xbox One fanboy, you micro shit fanboy, you just... Okay, so apparently, hating on anything that a person likes automatically makes you a fanboy of something that they think that you are a fanboy.
Don't you know how the internet works? I'm sorry. Can I just say that?
I used to spend a lot of time baiting extremists on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and I realized it's just not worth it because these people are so irrationally mental. Even when you feel superior to them, there was one guy on Twitter, and he was this mad racist, and I used to just ask him serious questions to where does that come from? Where do you even get that idea from? To just try and see if it. And his logic was my grandma taught me this whenever. And I was like, I was homeschooled, and I believe this. I was dude, you're mental. You're actually mental.
Yeah.
Your grandmammy's a bitch.
Here's the deal. You think that when you're reading this, that this is just a 12-year-old kid that I'm replying to, and when you think about it, no, this is actually a 20 to 30-year-old man that you're replying to, and they're acting like that.
This is why you don't feed the trolls, because I think one day I'm just going to be in a bad mood, and I'm going to go completely nuts on someone in the comment section, and I'm going to find out it's an 11-year-old.
You're going to be saying that to people that you don't want to even talk to. That's the problem. But that's not really our fault. It is actually the fault of poor education. That's going for all of the world, not just America. This is going for the entire planet. The funny thing is, when I wrote a comment to one of the people in the video, what do you think? Basically, he was talking about the Xbox One and making fun of both Sony and Microsoft. And what do they call the individual who was making the video? A PC fanboy, because there is a one company that owns all of the hardware and software that a a PC has, because that's how fucking logic works. But basically, he said, you're either a PC fanboy or you are retarded. Retarded.
Just go, no, I only play Farmville.
Yeah.
I only play Farmville on my... Oh, I can't play it on Mac, there's no Flash.
Yeah, it's funny how it's just a basic logic that you'll pride with. Don't call someone a retard when you spell like a motherfucking retard. But they don't understand that because their brain is just handicapped. It goes for all fanboys really, but it just makes you think, wow, this specific amount of fanboys have to be the worst. But in reality, it's every single fanboy in the world. If they're not acting like complete and utter retards, they're either not fanboys, as in they're just fans.
There's a difference between
make logical arguments and all that, or they're just simply stupid. But they probably both.
They just want a rise for the most part.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference between people who are just like honestly stupid and those who have their fun. And I like one guy. So occasionally I like to troll them, but I like to counter troll them, which is good fun. So you first off, like, I flipped out at this guy, cursed him out a bit, and then he was like, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day. And then he was like, aha, I've trolled you. And then I was like, you didn't even realize I was trolling you. And I was like, you're a dumbass. Of course I was trolling you. And then I got really pretentious and went, do you know what's really funny? Do you know what's hilarious about this? What I said, thanks for just showing me how much more important I am than you. Because clearly your life is so sad that you've come to me because I'm so much more important. The things I have to say, you must be so proud that I've replied to you. He was like, oh, you're an arsehole, and left and blocked me. I was like, he was like, oh, you're an arsehole, blocked me. Like, okay. Bye. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Actually, that leads me on perfectly to something I was going to bring up. That we've got an issue kind of over here in the UK where they're trying to put in legislation to make basically trolling count as legal harassment.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I heard this. I'm not sure if it's true because I heard this through the grapevine of people talking in an airport, and that's not like the most reliable source in the world. And apparently, a lot of the hate comments that people talked about were from her own IP, from herself, apparently.
It's funny how these things happen, and often you get these people when they say, oh, the harassment, and normally it's like, you're a dick, or like, I totally disagree with you, you're such an asshole. And then people go, you're harassing me!
I missed it
if
because
people do that, normally when we stay lost.
I missed it because some person was calling me on my cell phone.
Oh, I was just saying that there was a group, there was a Twitter feed, and it was basically coming up with all these. It claimed it was straight pride, and it started coming up with these homophobic comments. And then this young lad decided to have some fun at them and take their press release and mock it. And then they'd say then wrote a thing about how he was censored by them because they blocked him. And then they started saying, "Stop harassing us," and all this kind of like, you are not an official journalist, and all this kind of ridiculous stuff. And then it got so big, all these people started bashing them, they just shut their account down completely. Yeah. It's hilarious.
It's funny that
it's
mostly a hypocritical situation because people call you the hater, but at the same time, what do you think they're doing? They're hating on you.
They're hating.
They're not even coming with logical, responses to your arguments. They're the actual haters.
Yeah, I've had so many people go, why do you care so much about what you're saying? And I go, why do you care so much about what I'm saying?
I not care about what I'm saying.
Here's the funny thing. They're trying to say, who cares, when they do care. If they really care, because they actually commented. If they wouldn't have cared, they wouldn't have watched the video.
So, what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have another one. I got this from Events Twitter. I follow him. Recently, a female gamer has been banned for reporting death threats and sexual harassment.
Jesus.
Yeah, that whole thing is just despicable.
I mean, when this happened, I was like, it's always a female gamer.
Yeah, didn't the customer service person say don't be so good and stop beating the guys because then they'll get angry? I think I heard that. I'm sure that was one of the bits of advice that this woman got.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? That is actually mentally ill. Like, I mean, when you've got people like Anita Sarkeesian coming out and like having a go at Mario from like the 80s and saying that it's a sign of sexism, and that's a load. I think that's a load of rubbish. But then when you actually see genuine sexism and people, where's she?
Yeah.
Like, I think, and it's all like the gamers who like criticize Anita Sarkeesian going, "This is bullshit. You can't do that to somebody. That's totally wrong."
Yeah, and what she does, she just says, "Oh, everyone is making sexist joke about me," and
she blocks
even
the
though
comments.
blocks the comments because hey,
She's
that's
never
stuff.
wrong.
Yeah, I'm never wrong because even though you made good arguments, I'm never wrong because I was attacked by trolls. That means your argument is valid.
Oh yeah, heard that so many times ago. They quote like the thing said about coordinated harassment campaign, and you go, "What? You went to 4chan and then went, you're all sexist," and then was really surprised when 4chan went, "Tits or GTFO, bitch," and you go,
Yeah,
"That's what happens when you go to 4chan and start."
Yeah.
You poke them with a stick, and then they just flashed back and sent you a load of crap.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
might
like,
as well.
you knew that was coming. She's got a degree in like communications media. She knew what she was doing. It's not like she's never interneted
Well,
before.
I would say that that title that she has, that's kind of arbitrary, since education today is really arbitrary. That kind of brings me to a point. Gamification and gamifying education, it's a topic that's pretty complicated to discuss because there's so many awesome ways that this could help the educational systems, and then there's also a gigantic backlash on it that could be used.
Can I just say, whoever PC 36 million is, everything that he says just makes me laugh. I find the term pop culture critic just as funny as hell.
Culture critic.
It is damn. That is not what you put on your CV. What are you, pop culture critic?
What's
that?
I watch a
Is
lot
that
of
I can
movies.
write you a review of Sailor Moon. Cool.
I watch a lot of things from the 80s. That means I'm popular.
Yeah. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles before they were cool. I know that they used to all have red bandanas in the cartoons.
I preferred Raphael. He was the one nobody liked.
I liked Raphael.
You
He's
look
so my favourite.
I played the Doakin before that was even cool.
do I look like a guy who loves Donatello because I was a Donatello guy?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd been a Michelangelo guy.
He built. Well, he was my favorite, and then I realized that Donatello built the cars, the hoverboards, the devices.
Oh yeah, he is like the genius of the team.
Well, Michelangelo still says Cowabunga!
Cowabunga, dude! I'm more of the honor guy.
Yes.
We should probably explain why we're talking about the things we're talking about, shouldn't we? The fact, the lack of news. If you
Okay.
There has been some serious, like,
Guys, remember
better
the
news
time
reporting,
back in
actually.
Evo that doing Smash Bros. Sorry, right? The guys doing commentary for Smash Bros. Was actually making fun of the female gamer participating.
I wish the fighting game community would stop. Well, one, I think they'd stop calling us a fighting game community, but also I wish they'd stop kicking themselves in the tits. It's really annoying.
It's
not that.
What's stupid? Because they say it's part of their culture to make fun of them.
Mhm. It's part of my culture to punch sexists in the face. So that's just how it goes. If ever I see someone who's a bigot, I just kick them straight in the nuts.
Yeah.
And if they don't have nuts, I'll just kick them in the vulva. And that's just how it goes.
Did you have to use that word? I was not expecting that.
Well, I'm trying to reform. I tried not to use two offensive words. I went for vulva.
You're tasteful.
I'm going biologically correct.
But when the thing about it is, we don't mind, the sexist joke or anything. It's the fact that at this time, at this place, where it's not a good idea to say it, you shouldn't say it. Don't make a rape joke when you're in a big crowd with people who will start throwing tantrums if you say that.
Yeah,
I think it's worth mentioning. I mean, Mokat just made a comment on there saying he thinks people are overrated, and that is a fair point because unfortunately, the problems that are in with regards to the fighting game community are pretty much they are about all over. But it's right now the focus is on them, and I personally think my issue with it is they know these things. They know they're being looked at. They know they're being judged. They should be really cautious.
I mean, well, crap.
That's my personal feeling on the things. It's like, while everyone's watching them and everyone's going, look at them, they're sexist, and then go, yeah, we're sexist. Shut up! Either reform or like someone needs to someone needs to be there with a massive gag and just like hand over the mouth and just.
No, I think they have to have like that sheep pole just to grab them by the neck.
Government body.
Big hook.
Play us off, Chris.
But lately,
just need
they
to
have been like enforcing a lot of rules,
I'll just send a
particularly
match up there.
splitting and collusion, especially on guys like Chris G. I don't know, like Chris G. Like, why does he keep doing it? You know he's going to get in trouble for it. I haven't seen a lot of racist jokes lately in the community.
I don't think it's the people who really misinterpret racism. The fact that racism is, you know, a person that considers themselves above others because, hey, I have the
I am
color of
different.
my skin.
You're different.
I'm this and
I'm
that.
better.
Yeah, that's essentially racism. But I mean, but there, a lot of times, you make fun of someone, even if you're not making fun of the color of the skin, or just a simple racist joke that you would, racist joke. They'll call you racist. They'll call everyone who disagrees with them racist. Those people are
people that are oversensitive. Yeah.
I mean,
there's certainly some who are sensitive, and there's some who bait, and you always get that. You get the same thing with women when it comes to feminism, or anyone when they get to that. They want an excuse to rag. I went to school with a Nigerian guy, and he used to love it. He used to sit and wait, and he'd say something, and you go, "What do you mean by that?" oh, I see. It's about my colour, is it? And then people go, no, and he just loved to keep going until to the point where they were almost crying, and then he'd go, that's all right.
I've done that. I've done that on YouTube with my Black Slender Man, and I think the guy that I did it to got really, really uncomfortable. Yeah. If you remember,
I mean, people. I've heard many of some of the Australian people. They tend to either not be very sensitive to it, or, well, if they're not being sensitive to it, they're probably being really cautious about, alien anal probing guns, stuff like that.
Of course, there are jokes, but
people are taking drugs for fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking drugs because it gives them a reward. That's why it's illegal. I mean, when I hear people make jokes about Australians, they don't really get butthurt over it. I mean, saying
I just shrug it off.
I love Australian jokes.
Yeah.
There was a guy who once talked about them in the Olympics, and it was like, make Olympic bull riding a thing. The Australian walk out. All right, I'll ride it for 10 minutes, and then it'll ride me.
I was about the nice joke is why you never get.
Fuck that kangaroo.
Best Australian joke I know is in fact it's a genuine observation though, as to why there are no decent Australian sprinters.
Why?
Because all the fast ones didn't get caught.
Oh.
I mean, I honestly think, jokes are, comedy. It doesn't matter.
Jokes are comedy, but everything has a line that can be false.
Yeah, it's just a certain time where you shouldn't open your mouth at all. That's
yeah.
I think as well that I think the answer to good comedy is when it's like,
if it's funny, but you shouldn't.
Yeah. But also, I think if it's used to hit someone below you in some kind of way, if it's hitting down and sort of harming someone against someone vulnerable in some way, that's probably not good. If it's at least equal or someone above you, then it's funny. It's certainly more funny. It's more uncomfortable if you're like making jokes about someone who's really vulnerable compared to you.
Yeah.
That doesn't come out as funny.
Here on the Gaming Anarchist podcast, we accept all colors, skins of people, apart from blue people. Stop stealing our hamsters.
Blow mother.
I saw an event talking about a Twitter user that actually makes terror jokes, and he said he won't stop because he thinks it's comedy. But all the jokes he's making, that is not comedy.
Yeah, but you should never actually attempt to apologize for comedy, because it tends to lead to more problems than it actually saves. I mean, the fact that Dane Cook made a joke about the shooting in the theaters and all that.
Shooting in Connecticut?
It's not that people were really... I mean, sure, some hysterical people were offended by it, but most of the people who hated that joke were probably hating it because it was a terrible joke, mostly because it wasn't funny.
Was it really a terrible joke?
It was just a bad joke. It was not.
Okay.
It was not the fact that it was making fun of the people who died in the theaters or all that. It was because the joke was bad.
If it's tasteless, well, it's just tasteless.
Yeah, tasteless.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think South Park do it very well when they made an AIDS episode, the Jared has AIDS episode, and they finally went, you know what this means? It's 20 years since AIDS. Well, I mean, it's finally funny. We can make AIDS jokes. And they say that they make the point that like the difference between funny and not funny is the time between the event and the joke. And sometimes if you leave enough time, then something that isn't funny can become funny.
Yeah.
I guess that was the case with Justin Carter incident.
Yeah. We've not been talking anything about games for quite some time. We've been talking about rape jokes.
Actually, I have another thing involving the behavior. I've come across this YouTube video that, let me put this in the link in the chat, that this person actually encourages this kind of behavior in the fighting game community.
I think that's about time to do our outro and things like that.
I think so. It has been a long, nice, rambly one, which was nice.
Yeah.
Before we do, I'll leave this out with one thing. Stupidity, arrogance, and lack of logic is only chosen to be done if you chose it to be done.
Yeah.
That is some very nice final words for you there.
Ooh,
Thanks.
You should start a channel.
But either way.
Okay, well, we'll start with Chris. You do your outro thing if you want to do a plug-in. I doubt you do because it's your channel.
No, I'm pretty happy not to do. I will say, next week we have got some. We've got an interesting one actually, because this one it was nice to have some guys on from the community to have a nice long ramble. But actually, next time we've got one planned, and I think it will be on the 22nd of the month. We actually have something scheduled, and we've got a guy from Ghostlight coming in to talk about localization of games and problems they have by bringing Eastern games over here. But also, we're getting some guys who are doing a Kickstarter for their new news website. In fact, one of them is one of the artists I mentioned in a previous video. So they're going to come on and talk about kind of like getting an indie project off the ground. So it's actually going to be some serious stuff next time.
What is it again? Can you link it?
Can we link it to what?
What, to the Kickstarter program?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can do. In fact,
I'll do my outro while he's doing that.
You know yourself and do that?
Well, yeah, I guess today we kind of made this podcast because the news about gaming in the past few weeks has just been news about news, and that's not really much that we can report on. I mean, we can't.
Yeah,
someone said someone was smelly. We have to devote an hour of the podcast to that. But yeah, you can come to my channel and Mr. Sam Explains, and you can click on around my box here, and you can come and you can subscribe to my channel. I make videos again after like 3 months.
I'm pretty much new here, but if you guys want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's pretty much the same name as my Twitch TV channel, and so is my Twitter at Evolution as well. You want to look for fighting games, playthroughs, because I'm going to do Kill Is Dead next, coming out in a few weeks.
I've been trying to do that, and to find that is an absolute nightmare, and I know Chris has it, I think.
Matches and playthrough justice or Soul Calibur nowadays.
Well,
yeah, Diamond, your turn.
Well, if I can join the podcast again, and I'll definitely say yes to that. But if you really need to only do a 4-player podcast, then I'll definitely let someone else take the spotlight. Otherwise, I'll just join in whenever I can, and if I can, and if I'm allowed it. But a 5-player podcast would definitely not be a bad thing. But well,
It won't be a bad.
it all depends, really.
Well, Gaming Anarchist, do
Yeah,
your
well, it was,
outro.
Okay, time to at least deliver something from out of nowhere. Okay, so thanks a lot, Sam, for all the technical support and your DeLorean. It was awesome, and it's thank a lot for Taro and Diamond Mantis for coming on. It was good. It was nice to have a nice general nice chat about stuff. Like I said, the next podcast we'll be doing is definitely scheduled, and it's on the 22nd. It'll be about the same time. And that will be with the guys from Chaos Hour, who have a Kickstarter coming out, and also a guy from Ghostlight talking about localization. So, anyone's got any questions, especially with regards to why don't these games come from Japan? What's stopping this game coming from Japan? They do a lot of localization, particularly DS and 3DS games, stuff like that. So, they'd be some good guys to offer some realistic expectations, because they've basically had to do the story. Will wait for next week.
Shining Force.
They do. There are some real problems, and maybe a lot of it comes down to bottom line being us as gamers showing interest so that they can make the financial risk. But that's all going to be discussed next week.
Yeah.
But so anyway, it's been good to have everyone here. Thanks a lot for all the comments in the chat and everything. And this will be up on YouTube probably tomorrow, I'm guessing.
Sometime tomorrow.
Yeah,
hopefully I'll be able to join the next podcast, but that'll be for another time.
Yeah, well, definitely we'll try and we'll arrange that as well. Anyone else who actually watching this wants to be involved in the podcast, let me know. Send a private message on myself.
You can contact me as well, because I have a lot more free time than Chris. You'll probably get me a lot quicker than you would him.
Yeah, I'm afraid sometimes I'm a bit lax in getting back on my private messages.
Yeah. Aside from my stupid religious joke that I made earlier, that means our podcast was probably really good. I'd suggest.
Yeah, it was fun talking with you guys. It was really fun.
We'll let the crowd decide on that.
Yeah,
they'll really like it. But
let the people comment. But it was a pleasure to have you guys on, and as always.
Say it.
Oh, you love it. You're the number one. You're the only person who actually reminded me. I actually do have a weird catchphrase, but anyway. So anyway, thanks all for watching.